Hey everyone, it's Book of Catherine. So when I saw the talk by a pundit recently that said I have no idea why Nikki Haley resigned, I was like, okay, that's it, I'm going to say something. Since apparently no one has any idea. I haven't seen anyone give an idea as to why Nikki Haley resigned. When to me, I was like, I mean, I thought about it for 2 minutes, but okay. So here's just what I think. And I'm going to put it out there because I thought it was pretty obvious. And I would think we would all be screaming it from the rooftops like, holy crap, this is a big deal. So let's discuss. And hey, I might be the loony bin on the street, except that I've been pretty dead on. I've been, at the beginning of the year, I was like, I'm not so sure. But if you watch my videos from the beginning of this year, I've been pretty dead on about freaking a lot of things. I've been freaked out by how much. So I'm a little bit more emboldened this time. So I'm going to go ahead and say it. So, it's a pure conjecture and guess. So, Nikki Haley quit right after the big UN meeting. Like, she quit right after the big UN meeting where President Trump came back. Like, POTUS came back. Remember the first time he went in and he said, I'm going to work on America. His first speech at the UN was like, I'm going to work on America. His second speech, he came back this year and he said, I'm going to look at you guys. I'm asking you guys to respect our sovereignty. And here's what I'm going to be looking for this week from our meetings. And then they go to meetings and everyone said a bunch of stuff, but did you hear any agreements made? Did you hear anything come out of that? Did they agree to anything? Did they say anything about yes, well, now we all know what he meant by respect our sovereignty. I mean, he was literally saying Agenda 21. And if you don't know what Agenda 21 is, basically the UN all the way back in 1990, I'll show you here. The UN in 1992 adopted this big thing, Agenda 21 at the Earth Summit, right? And what they did is they got together all the countries, 200 and whatever countries, and they did this whole thing. You know what this is? This is a huge 300-page constitution for the world government. Like literally, if you read through it, and you go ahead and read through Agenda 21, Chapter 1, Preface, and if you read the first 5 pages, just read through the first 5 pages. Look at this. Item 1, halt and reverse protectionism in order to bring about further liberalization and expansion of world trade to the benefit of all countries. In particular, halt and reverse protectionism, which means halt and reverse countries being individual countries. That was back in 1992, you guys. And it goes through their tax structures. Individual countries, it basically says we as countries agree to dissolve all borders and become, the UN will be the world government now. And it's world socialism. And this is the new world government. And every time they do something like the Paris Agreement, and what it says is, scarily enough, is that it's at the local level, at the state level, and at the government level, the actual country level. And so what they started doing is they started going in and they started with recycling. That's when recycling started in 1992. Every local government adopted recycling. All of a sudden, we all got recycling bins. Started right away. And they just started doing it. And it was all from the UN. We didn't vote for it. We didn't ask for it. The people didn't ask for it. And then PC started and then it all came from the UN. It wasn't democracy. We didn't vote for it. And slowly but surely, more and more came in, and they outlined it all right here. And so in comes Trump, and it gets much, much worse. I mean, they go into how our banks should be structured, and now our schools, all of our schools are now getting it, and the teachers are being told how to teach. All the classrooms have to be the same. You can't change the curriculum for any student. All the students have to, and it looks exactly like China, because China is a socialist country. So the point is that in comes Trump and says, all we ask, when we have gone to all of you guys, we have never replaced your currency. We've never changed your culture. We've never tried to change your sovereignty. So we ask that you, respect our sovereignty. And you could hear a pin drop. You know, because they were laughing in the beginning. But the moment he said, all we ask is that you respect our sovereignty. We have always respected, as a nation, we have always respected your sovereignty. We ask that you respect our sovereignty. And the place just went like, boom. And afterwards, all those meetings happened. And then Nikki Haley quits. And if you haven't been paying attention, for the year before, all the U.S. has done has gone through council after council after council trying to get the UN to work the way it was originally intended to work. And every time the countries have failed to do so, they've only gotten worse and worse, funded dictatorships, funded genocidal maniacs, funded the worst people in history, people who just, if you go ahead through and listen to it, you can go ahead on UN Watch and listen through some of their speeches, funding things that the worst killers in history, and denying the Holocaust, saying the Holocaust didn't happen. The UN is turning their back on Holocaust victims. And the US got so bad that Nikki Haley actually, got off the UN Human Rights Council because she's like, we have literally become the opposite. So the US leaves the Human Rights Council. That's big. Then, see the dominoes falling, you guys. He gets up and says, we're asking you to respect our sovereignty. They go through all the meetings. I mean, the whole year has been like, we're going to give you a chance. We're going to give you a chance. Are you going to work? 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 And then finally he comes in and he's like, okay, this is what I've been asking for. Are you going to protect our sovereignty? Are you going to respect us as a nation and let us be a democracy? Or are you going to continue to enforce socialism that we didn't vote for, we didn't ask for, and let the American people be? And let them continue to vote for themselves for the laws that they want? Or what are you going to do? And the result of those meetings was Nikki Haley quit. She resigned. What do you think's going to happen next? I don't think it's that hard to guess. Everyone says, oh, the UN's dysfunctional. Oh, we don't need the UN. They meet on U.S. soil. They meet in New York. Is there another place on this planet that's safe for them to meet? I would like to see them try. Go meet on China. You want world socialism? Go meet on China, because you don't represent. The first thing the UN did, the very first thing the UN did was create North Korea. The North Korean War, congratulations. If you really look at UN and what they've done, all they continually do is push us to nuclear war. You think they have a denuclearization program? Really check it out. Really check it out and see if it isn't really just spreading nuclear, actually allotting, the nuclear programs to people. So that's what I think. I think, hello, and I'm not stupid. I am pretty sure the UN knows that's what's coming too. At least the smart ones do. The ones who are running things. Hello, that's what I think's coming. I think it's over. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't think it's happening anytime soon, but I noticed no one else was appointed. Notice no one else was appointed. So give it up to Nikki Haley for being boss again and just being like, I'm walking. You guys didn't work with us, I'm walking. So they don't get any of our money. They get all their world funding for all their dictatorships and all their horrors against humanity, because that's what the media doesn't do. They go Trump, 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 so you don't hear about the horrors against humanity in the rest of the world. All right, I have to go. So I love you guys so much. That's just what I think. Why don't you look at the evidence and see if maybe, just maybe, that's where things are going. Look at the timing of things. So is it a bold move? Well, yeah. Is he anything but bold? Do you guys want to be out of the UN? I think that's what, when you really look at what the UN's been doing, when you find out about freaking Agenda 21, do you want to be a part of the world socialism music, or would you like to be part of a democracy? Do you want to have the right to vote? Do you like that they took over your children without your permission? Then you don't want the UN. Sorry, it's not something you voted for. Oh, and the World Health Organization. 70% funded by the pharmaceuticals. You know what they're doing to your food. Yeah, oh, did I mention that in there? Oh, look up depopulation in Agenda 21. Frickin' sick. Frickin' sick. And it sounds like something out of Fahrenheit, like, you know, like it sounds like some kind of science fiction. It sounds like science fiction. I know it's science fiction, which is why I'm like, just go buy the stupid thing and read it for yourselves or look up. There's plenty of documentaries. There's more out there than ever by now. And countries around the world are waking up to it because it's happening in New Zealand. It's happening in South Africa, China. That's why they're moving 250 million people to the cities. And now India is undergoing it. And what's the answer to that? Don't move to the city. You stay in the frickin' suburbs. You go out and you move into the land because it's fruitful out there. I love you guys. Go Nikki Haley. You go on, girl. Because we may differ in politics. I may be an independent, and I may think she's a politician, whatever. But I am telling you, I am with the nation. I just think we have more in common that we have different. I just really do. I'm just like, do you believe in a democracy? Do you think people should be free? Well, then, I'm sorry, we're kind of on the same team. That's what I see. And if you agree with me, then you kind of have to vote with the rest of us this November. You're going to have to learn how to vote, get registered, get on it, and if they tell you the registration date is passed, then tell them that too bad, or you're going to go to the top. Squeaky wheel gets the, you know what I mean. Just be loud. Love you guys.